The McElroy brothers are not experts, and their advice should never be followed. Travis insists he's a sexpert, but if there's a degree on his wall, I haven't seen it. Also, this show isn't for kids, which I mention only so the babies out there will know how cool they are for listening. What's up, you cool baby?
It's familiar, but not too familiar, but not too not familiar. It's a new craze, and the girls, do you wanna just say, hey, I wanna, just say, hey, I wanna.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to My Brother, Me, an advice show for the modern era. I'm your oldest brother, Justin McElroy.
I'm your middlest brother, Travis McElroy.
I'm your sweet baby brother, 30 under 30, Griffin McElroy.
It's coming in hot, folks. I'm sure you've seen it blowing up the TVs and your mobile devices. It's finally almost here. So close now. Thor Ragnarok. This is a Thor Ragnarok watch, just checking the buzz. Checking out all the buzz around Thor Ragnarok.
Finger on the pulse of this hot body of Thor.
Now, boys, I'm so excited to talk about this because I got to see a special preview screener 2 days ago.
Oh, great. How's my huge friend doing, Thor?
Well, he's doing good, and let me tell you, lean in close. Here's some special insights I can give you. 1, he's dreamy.
Yes.
2,
he's creamy.
he's creamy. They have really leaned into Thor, the broiest Avenger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In a good way. In a good way.
Okay.
I will also say that as I watched the movie, the preview screener, I liked to imagine that there would be someone who would go to see this movie who knew nothing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and had never read a comic book before in their life and maybe didn't even know anything about Norse mythology, trying to make either heads or tails of this movie. And it made me very happy because of how often the sentence, "Now who's this beefy fellow?" would pop up in their heads.
Now,
Just a lot of beefy boys.
how many
lot of beefy
friends,
boys.
How many beefy friends? Give me an exact number.
I would say, Griffin, all the hamburger buns are empty because all the beef is in this movie.
Well,
Now, I
That's not a number. 12? Maybe?
okay.
now we're just a few days. This came out on November 3rd, so we're getting close to release here on December 4th.
American release. It came out in, I believe, Japan, November 3rd.
Yes,
Okay.
they love the huge man Thor and all of his much smaller friends, except for the green one, who can
Green
sometimes get
Buddy.
bigger.
It's large man Thor and Green Buddy.
And my
is-
green friend, the Hulk, or Bruce.
I saw that Bruce is in the film, and I heard that there's a scene where he says, Thor says, "Why do we need the strong man here? I am strong.
Yeah.
We do not need two of the strong men.
Uh-huh.
Bring me someone who can fly, or perhaps a laser boy." And Thor doesn't understand why there
needs to be
another
two
strong man.
And let's talk about Avengers composition. Let's talk about it team comp in terms of tank, DPS, healer, right? There's Vision, right? He can go through walls. That's fun. Hawkeye shoots a bow and arrow and sometimes says really sexist stuff. And then there's Black Widow, who does all kinds of flips and spins.
Rogue.
And then we have and Iron Man's got beams. And then there's 4 strong men. It's do we need 4 of just, what do you do? Strong. I do strongness.
Now, Trav, tell me about the scene. I heard there's a scene where Thor says, "You may be strong, Hulk, Bruce, but I have this hammer."
Uh-huh.
And then Hulk takes the hammer, and Thor says, "I'm no longer needed, and I will step away."
Yes.
And then he retires.
Yeah, and that comes 5 minutes into the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the rest of the movie is Hulk as Thor. And they keep calling him Thulk, which is cute. I like that. And it keeps cutting back to Thor, at the supermarket, or he gets married, has a kid, serves on the PTA.
That's nice.
Is the sun big and green?
No, the son is actually kind of a nerdy, puny guy, so Thor has to deal with that.
Now, I heard another scene that I saw. Now this was on a Fandango bonus clip. That I got for pre-ordering tickets for this movie that opened a month ago. And in this bonus clip, after Thor raises a family, Hulk comes to his house and says, "I am stronger than you. I will teach the children to be strong. I'm the father now."
And
Thor says, "You're right."
Yeah.
And Hulk becomes Thor's kid's dads. Is that in the final?
Ragnarok
Absolutely.
cut?
That's actually, Justin, I'm glad you brought that up because that's actually a post-credit scene that dovetails with Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, good. I was hoping we could talk about that picture.
Yeah,
in
so
the
then
podcast.
it's all in the Daddy's Home multiverse. And that's when Samuel L. Jackson shows up and says, "I'm putting together a team of stepdads."
Yeah, I like the scene in Daddy's Home 2 where the Hulk comes and crushes, then eats just all the men in that picture, and then they're gone in real life, which is really cool and fun and great.
Now, does Thor Ragnarok include the scene where John Lithgow shows up on the first day of Daddy's Home 2 filming and sees that the other new daddy is Mel Gibson, and there's 15 minutes of him just like, are we sure?
You sure about
Well,
that? You sure
this
of him?
is actually
This
interesting.
one.
I actually also got a preview screener of Daddy's Home 2, and without the CGI, and what they haven't released yet, maybe this is like a special bonus thing, but John Lithgow is not in the movie. It's all Andy Serkis motion capture.
Yeah, because
And
John
then
Lithgow walked
CGI
over
him in.
and saw the comedy duo, the hysterical duo of Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson they put together, and he pulled out his grappling hook and ziplined away. But Andy Serkis stepped in. He was like, "I have no problem with these two."
So Andy Serkis is John Lithgow.
Loves Mel Gibson. Big.
They've already
Gibson
paid
fan.
him. Yeah.
Now, I heard there's a scene in 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, where the Hulk comes and takes the 3 billboards and says, "Now there's no more need for your movie.
Yeah.
I will take these to mine."
Keeps doing it.
And so Frances McDormand's like, "Well, I retire."
Well, actually, what happens, Justin?
The billboards are gone in
That
her
was,
movie, so
you must
she
have seen
closes
it.
her movie, and Hulk puts the 3 billboards into Hulk Ragnarok, a Thor picture.
You must have seen a previous version. Maybe that was like 1.0, because in the version I saw, Thor goes to grab the billboards, and Frances McDormand says, "No." And Hulk goes, "Well, I bow to your wisdom. Thank you so much for everything you've done. You're amazing." And then she kills and eats Hulk and becomes Hulk.
Yes.
Now, I heard there's...
Justin
there's a
heard about it.
bonus
Justin has seen all the scenes, and so let's just sit back and watch him do his thing.
It's almost a spoiler. At this, I feel like so much of it has been spoiled. But I heard that Hulk does jump into the Orient Express and says, "I have the final solution. The butler conducted the crime." And Poirot's like, "There's no butler." And Hulk's like, I said the butler committed the crime. You may put your train back into the station. Your film is no longer
And then
needed.
he eats,
I
and
have
then
the
he
solution.
eats the whole train. He does eat the whole train.
whole train.
Which is also how Snowpiercer ended, with just the train starts up again, and then it goes right into Hulk's big mouth and open belly.
Yep. That's all accurate. That all happens.
Is the
And
scene
what's
in the
weird?
movie where Hulk finally gets his reward of getting a Coca-Cola, and then the Ant-Man shows up and steals his fucking Coca-Cola, that piece of shit Ant-Man.
There's also a prolonged scene in which Hulk walks around naked, and I wish this was a joke, and it makes me, for the first time, have to
erect.
It forces me to think about Hulk's genitalia in a way that I
The
have...
first time, bud. The first time, bud. As if the first time fucking Stanley was like, eureka, my catchphrase, I've got it. The man turns big and green. And instantly we heard that conceit and we're like, dick too, though, right? Stanley?
No, actually,
What'd that
I
dick
have
do?
concrete proof. So, okay, the Hulk, Bruce Banner transforms into the Hulk. Imagine the classic image. What you see is pants that have been torn, usually from the mid-thigh to knee down, right? But after the transformation into Hulk and back into Bruce Banner, those pants have been torn. The crotch of the pants is never destroyed. So we have to assume that Hulk gets huge muscles, but just a regular human penis.
But Bruce's penis is probably pretty
Bruce's
good.
I mean, he's already had pants sized to his penis that the Hulk does not destroy.
Actually, when he's Bruce, he has the Hulk's penis, and when he's the Hulk, he has Bruce's penis. It's a weird sort of mix around.
Now, I heard that I saw one more deleted scene. Where the Hulk goes into Lady Bird and says, I'm not aware of what this film is or is about, but I've heard good things, so I'll take it for my own. And then he goes into The Shape of Water and is like, I don't know, teardrops, lakes, an ocean. Anyway, your movie is over too. And the Hulk takes all the water.
So what you're suggesting, Justin, is that what you've seen is a cut of the movie that is a very, like, last action hero. Hulk is a film walker. He just claims movies as his own.
Now, I did Swede a lot of this. So a lot of this is sort of Sweded stuff from my own studio here at the house.
I saw a scene in A Bad Mom's Christmas. And the Ant-Man, and by scene, I mean the whole movie. Ant-Man's in the whole thing. You just can't see him. He's really small. He's like a speck of dust just floating around, landing on Mila Kunis's nose, but you don't see him. But if you turn up the audio like all the way, like blow out your speakers, you can hear Paul Rudd doing his comedy.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, he's in most movies the whole time, just very small, and you can't tell. But he's in
very
there.
small.
To be fair, though, Paul Rudd is just in most movies.
This is true. And it's very confusing because he's also in it as Ant-Man.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is he's always been Ant-Man in movies. It's just like pre-getting the suit and post-getting the suit.
Sure. Hey, questions time, because half of the show will be a special thing, and I would love to get at least some of our good work into it.
Okay, before we do, if you're listening to this on Monday, tonight, I'm participating in a World Builders, which is a charity organization spearheaded by Pat Rothfuss, a StarCraft tournament.
Oh my God, are you playing StarCraft?
I am.
Have you ever played StarCraft?
I have not.
This should be good, bro. What's your APMs?
Oh God, it's me and Tybee playing as Team Run Fancast with absolutely positively no idea what we're doing, but it's for a good cause. You can go to bit.ly/runwb and help donate money to sponsor our team.
I can't, I'm going to be there watching you fuck up at, like, building too many pylons or whatever.
Oh, Griffin, it's going to be terrible. Like, listen, it's going to be fun. I'm going to be terrible.
Have you not watched any videos or whatever out of StarCraft?
I mean, I will.
Okay.
I'm sure I will. And I believe that happens tonight at 10:30 Central Time is when I'm playing. There's lots of other people playing. The Double Clicks are playing. Paul and Storm are playing. Mikey Newman is playing. Lots of people are playing.
I hear Mikey's got sick APM, so you're going to get put in the trash can.
Oh, no. He's going to just kick my ass. No doubt. But check that out and run bit.ly/runwb to help sponsor that. And Justin, tell us about MBMBaM Angels before we kick off these questions.
Right before we get in the show, MBMBaM Angels is an annual project that we sort of like tangentially do just because it's like us, but really we don't do any of the heavy lifting. We have a great team of people that are like doing this hard work, but we have a lot of people in the area that we grew up and where I still live here in Huntington and the surrounding tri-state area who have a lot of needs for this holiday season, and they're a lot of people who aren't going to have anything for this blessed Candle Nights season. And we're not talking about like fun toys usually. We're talking about stuff like a wheelchair is needed and a gas card to get to work and a bed and a tent and things like this. Just things that people really need. And you can be a hero this Candle Night season and help fix these problems. I mean, like it's heartbreaking. And if you go to MBMBAMangels.com, you're going to see a ton of opportunities where you can help. It's easy to do. There's a great team of people who are ready to assist you. And if you can, even if you're just going to kick in a few bucks, you don't have to buy one of these items specifically. But it's a wonderful project that we care a lot about. So if you can find it in your heart to help out, MBMBAMangels.com, and you can find someone to help. And if you do, please tweet at us. Let us know so we can thank you personally. And we really appreciate anything you can do to assist with that.
real quick, I misspoke that the StarCraft tournament, I will be playing at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern PM tonight. The tournament kicks off at 8 p.m. Central Time, and you can find out all the information at worldbuilders.org/StarCraft.
All right, first question. I tend to lounge around the house in a luxurious plaid bathrobe, almost always with a t-shirt and shorts under it. Sometimes, when I want candy, I will go I hear you. I will go to the convenience store across the street without putting on real clothes. This is legitimate because it's really close to where I live. Well, now I want a bagel, but I don't want to change. But the bagel place is like a half mile away. Is that too far for the bathrobe? Will people think I'm just a weirdo? That's from the robed one.
There's so much going on. The people
You are making assumptions.
Yeah.
Left and right.
You just... Here's the thing about the bathrobe look. I mean, I support you and, like, you walk your path. I'm not trying to shame anyone's bathrobe usage, except that I am about to do just that. But there's not a bubble extending from your house where the bathrobe is acceptable. The bubble is the house.
The bubble's the house.
It's literally maybe where your paper lands. Unless I just don't know.
It's as far as your Wi-Fi extends from your house.
If you got the Wi-Fi signal, you can pull out your phone and say, like, no, it's cool. See? Robbie's place. You see that? You're not hacking. Don't try to hack Robbie's place. It's ironclad.
If you still have Wi-Fi, you can Arthur Dent all over town. You can set up repeaters down the block. And just, but okay, listen, you can't just say, listen, question asker, I love you. You know that, right? I love you. You can't just say, this is legitimate because it's really close. You don't get to make that call.
Yeah, it's legitimate because I really wanted candy and
now,
I'm in the bathroom.
Now, I will say that bagel place, I feel like, is more appropriate for the bathrobe because it's a breakfast time thing. And so you can show up and you say, like, oops, Mondays, breakfast time, bagel please. I'm not naked under this. And that's so, you got to say the last part. The
highest level of maturity is being able to see the world through the point of view of other people. And you have to understand that when you go to the convenience store, see it through their eyes. They don't look at each other after you leave and say, it's cool, he lives nearby. That's not, that dialogue does not take place.
Is it okay to go out of doors dressed in an outfit with a robe over it? I assume shoes. Please wear shoes. Yeah, I mean, legally speaking, sure. Are you saying, will people maybe give me a little side eye?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Nothing you can do unless.
Unless?
In what question? Unless, if you're going to leave the house, you silly goose, just tuck the robe into the shorts, and then at the worst, people are just going to think you got a super lumpy duff. And that's it. They're just wearing a coat, and their shorts are holding in their very, very lumpy duff.
Would this be different if instead of like a luxurious plaid bathrobe, you were wearing like an embroidered like boxer's robe?
Oh, and then people might think you're a champion boxer.
Oh, he needs those Mike and Ikes to carb up before the big
fight today. It's going to be hard for me to see that and not assume that you're putting it through heavy usage and then start thinking about the scent of it, because you know what I'm talking about. A robe that gets heavy usage, it's got all your smell in it, and I don't want to even look at the smell because I can feel it and taste it.
Again, if you want to wear a robe, go for it, but please stop creating justifications for yourself. You're a guy wearing a robe, or a gal wearing a robe, or a person wearing a robe. I don't know, but you're still wearing a robe outside your house. It doesn't matter how far you are.
It's a wild tactic. How about this Yahoo? It was sent in by the delivery man, Seth Carlson. Thank you, Seth. It's from Yahoo Answers user. Jotun Herdigen asks, what happens if a vampire bites another vampire?
Can I tell you, I'm so glad that this question is included.
It's long overdue.
And listen, we'll circle back to this super vampire state, but I was thinking about this. People like to throw a lot of shit at vampires, and I bet you, Griffin, a lot of those people that are hurling shit at vampires also eat steaks. Vampires gotta eat. That's what I'm saying. This has gone on for too long. What?
Okay.
Vampire eats, so we
Literally
kill
saying
him?
people are cattle, which
To a
is not
vampire?
yeah, no, I know but you're still you still definitely said it with your whole mouth.
To a vampire? Yeah, that's how. Listen, it's the circle of life.
No, I will
It's
not.
not.
No,
It's sort of
no,
a
'cause
straight
we're-
line of life. It's like a life.
Well, but then
pyramid.
bacteria eat vampires. So,
Yeah, I guess it all keeps the big wheel keeps spinning.
oh no, wait, the sun eats vampires, and then plants eat the sun.
There we
And then
go.
we eat
So
the
when you're eating
plants.
if you're eating a cucumber, then you're just eating vampire, basically.
Yeah, basically, it's the
sun is
circle
powered-
of
The
life.
sun is powered by vampire energy
Yes.
from vampires they've consumed.
Yes.
We all know that. That's
Yes.
why global warming is such an issue.
Too many
Yes.
vamps. That's yeah.
Too many vamps.
Two things I think. If a vampire bites another vampire, one double vampire, and these are the scariest of all. Can you even if a double vampire bites a double vampire, is it a triple vampire or do we square root it?
What are some of the key differentiators, Griffin, of a double vampire?
Four,
How will I
four
know-
fangs.
4 fangs.
Four big fangs. And the
Okay.
accent gets like, if a regular vampire is here, a double vampire is like here. The quadruple vampire is here.
Now, what? Now, if I was a quintuple vampire, exactly what would that sound like?
A quintuple vampires and an octuple vampire is here. I want to suck your blood, donkey.
Are you suggesting Shrek was a octuple vampire?
Yeah, I think Shrek is a octuple vampire for
That
sure.
makes sense.
He's
Now,
a
let me ask
vampire
you
that
this.
bit another vampire, then bit a double vampire, and then bit a quadruple vampire.
Okay, so this is my question. The vampire that doubles, is it the vampire that bites or the vampire that is bit?
Ooh, I think it's a vampire that is bit. That's a good point, Travis.
Oh, see, I was going to say the vampire that bites.
No, because that's not how the vampiric process works.
I guess
Yeah,
that's true.
'cause
I was
you-
thinking, more of like the double vampire siphons the vampire away, and then that vampire is like, well, you're normal again.
No.
No, the vampire bites another vampire,
Uh-huh.
transforming the bitten vampire into a double vampire. And then the new double vampire turns around and is like, now you fucked up.
Uh-huh.
Now you fucked up. Look at these fangs.
So
You're
then
in
it, wait,
trouble
is,
now.
then it a triple vampire, or is it like squared every time?
I think we go up the by the root of two. Now that's the first scenario, a double vampire, and it is the
Okay.
correct scenario because it's such a good world that I want to
That
live in.
one's science-based.
That one's science based. The other situation that could happen is it's just awkward. It's just like look. Hey dude, stop. Look,
Can you not?
check the fangs. 1, 2.
Oh,
Oh yeah. my bad.
man.
Yeah, I'm a vampire. I hate the sun and garlic and love to bite. That's me too. So
They don't have blood, right? Vampires don't have blood. It's just dust in there, right?
It's
That's
just
why they need
dust.
to keep drinking
Well, it
it.
depends
Now,
if they've recently fed.
I think the blood's only in their tummy at that point, though.
do the vampires pee out blood? And if so,
Oh.
how do they know when they have prostate issues?
I mean,
God, that
as
sounds
somebody who's
good.
had prostate issues before, you'll know.
Do you think that if a vampire pees and it's not blood, they're like, oh no.
Oh, crap.
It's wearing.
Oh, never mind. Psych, I'm immortal. I forgot.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
good.
yeah, I don't have prostate
Yeah.
issues.
I'm fine.
Double vampire. How about another question?
Brothers, some local teens just knocked on our door and asked us to cook their unpopped microwave popcorn. I do not recognize these youths. Am I setting myself up for a long con by being a cool neighbor? That's from Corny Conundrum in Gooниeville. Yes, literally the town from Goonies, Astoria, Oregon.
Fuck yeah. I mean, is it the Goonies that came to your house? Because maybe you got a treasure map, they want to steal it. Maybe there's treasures under your house and they would just want to go in your basement. I mean, they're adults now, though, so these would be adults like, hey, can we come in your basement? I bet you got a map. Here's some popcorn. I'm Sean Astin.
This is what I sound like. I'm a septuple vampire.
I didn't have an accent when I started.
Why do they have a bag of microwave
Yes.
popcorn but no microwave?
Why did they purchase?
They robbed a Boy Scout.
They
Oh,
might have
no.
robbed a Boy Scout.
They might have robbed a Boy Scout who was selling popcorn door to door.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm kind of into this Moonrise Kingdom, like a band of kids setting out on their own. The only food they brought with them on their journey was popcorn, but they're kids, so they didn't think about it. And so they need you to pop the popcorn so they can eat something while they wander into the forest because one of them knows where a dead body is. just like in Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah, I guess I assumed that these kids were like local next door kids, but these kids could have been on a long journey. And maybe like the last thing they had in their packs was like microwave popcorn. You know what I mean?
It's possible.
Why
It's
not
definitely
say
possible.
yes, but then you have to stay on the porch and wait. And you close the door and you pop their corn for them. And then you return it and you send those scamps on their way. But don't let them in your house. Dear God, whatever you do, don't let them in your house.
I think a good test, a good way to test their intentions is to say, yes, I will pop the popcorn, but you will enjoy this popcorn with me.
Oh.
And we'll all enjoy this popcorn together here on the porch in a just a communal manner. And we'll all share the popcorn together.
I need the 10% for the juice, for the vig.
I'm going to get my beak salty.
They could be vamps though, trying to get access to the
That's why you
domicile.
can't let them in the house.
Can't let them in the house. Don't let the wrong one in.
That's what the movie's called.
I got a Yahoo here, and I want to read it before we go to the Money Zone and move on to our very special segment because it features something so pure and so wonderful. It's another Seth Carlson jam. Thank you, Seth. It's Yahoo Answers user. Sorry, something's gone wrong. I'm gonna call him Broderick. Asks, NCIS themed birthday party? I want to throw a really nice NCIS themed birthday party, but aren't sure how to do it. I don't know what to do for a cake, decorations, games, anything like that. Thanks.
Okay,
NCIS.
before we get into like the details of this,
How much have we watched?
well, here's the thing. I love somebody saying, I want to throw specific themed birthday party here.
I have no
But
ideas.
I have no ideas for it whatsoever. So, like, do you then? Do you want to throw that party? Or do you just like NCIS?
I very much like NCIS, and I very much like aging, and I want to combine those two activities.
I think the only thing I know about NCIS, I know two things. One, the Secret Service agent from West Wing is in it.
Correct. Mark Harmon.
And there's some...
Incredible hero Mark Harmon that once saved a boy from a burning car. Mark Harmon.
Wait,
That
really?
Mark Harmon. Fuck yeah, dude.
Mark Harmon saved a boy from a burning car?
Yeah, Mark Harmon's a fucking hero. He pulled 2 kids out of a burning car.
Well, now it's 2 kids? Hold on. This started as 1 kid.
He pulled 6 kids out of a burning bus
He ate a burning limousine.
to save
No,
12
here-
kids.
We've talked about this before, I believe, so I'm going to go through this quickly. But Mark Harmon was kicking it in LA, 1996, 7:15. These teens missed a turn, crashed into a tree, flipped over, and burst into flames. Mark Harmon smashed the windows out with a sledgehammer and pulled the boys to safety.
He just had, he
Mark
was just
Harmon
holding the
rules.
sledgehammer sitting on his porch as he's wont to do. Fuck yeah, Mark Harmon, hero.
Yeah,
Right.
Mark Harmon rules. Anyway, Mark Harmon also, as long as we're talking about Mark Harmon, I did a quick Google for NCIS party to see kind of what was out there. There's a lot.
Oh,
It
good.
won't surprise you. A lot of fun cakes, etc. His character on the show NCIS is named Leroy Jethro Gibbs. Do you think that it was penance for having such a cool name like Mark Harmon?
Yeah.
That they had to
So, I mean,
knock him down a few
I
pegs?
feel like one thing you could do for your party is set your house ablaze in Brentwood, and then Mark will show up, be like, I'm here to save you. And then you quickly douse the flame. And you're like, Mark, long as you're here. Lordy, look who's 40. It's me, Mark. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming, Mark.
The second thing I know about NCIS is that there's a goth woman or punk woman who seems very prevalent in the show.
I believe her name is Abby on the show. And
How do you know
she's
that?
on all the NCISs. Because I've been reading this Yahoo, Travis. I want to just
There's someone named Donald Ducky Mallard,
there's a lot of fun. Listen, they have fun
NCIS
with
creators.
the names. Yeah.
but Ducky is his like nickname, and Mallard is his last name. Like, you could have gotten to Ducky just from Donald or Ducky just from Mallard, but you went ahead and named Donald the most famous duck and also Mallard.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
there's a character on the chief of the NCIS is named Bill Butthole Rectum. They just really went wild with the names.
So NCIS stands for Naval Criminal Investigative Services, right? So they
Obviously.
investigate crimes that have to do with the Navy and the Marines. That show has been going on for 15 seasons. Hey, Navy, are you okay? Because it seems like
Got a
you
lot of
maybe have a
crime.
lot of crime. It seems like there's a lot of crime going on with y'all.
I mean, I learned that.
You and Jag.
I learned that on Jag. Yeah, Jag has just really opened my eyes to.
Holy shit. Jag and NCIS are in the same universe.
Yes.
2 episodes in season 8
it's
of
called
Jag.
Travis, it's called the Viewist universe,
Yes.
please.
Ice Queen and Meltdown, 2 episodes from season 8 of Jag, were backdoor pilots for NCIS that featured Mark Harmon as Gibbs on those Jag episodes.
Yeah, it's just called a spinoff.
It's called a
But
spinoff.
from Jag. NCIS is a spinoff of Jag. I had no idea.
It's called a Jag-off. I wanted to read this question because there's a Yahoo Answers user named Lady Di who says, be sure that you either have an actual mystery to solve as the evening progresses or that you simply use the theme as a backdrop. There really isn't any right way or wrong way to do a birthday party, but if you want to throw the party that everyone will be talking about, you need to create a specific crime for the scene you're investigating and leave clues everywhere to help with the investigation. Decorating your crime scene party, crime scene tape, and chalk outlines on the floor are easy additions to your theme. Make sure to leave them realistic in size by having a person actually lay down for you to draw the outline. You might leave fake footprints, fingerprints, and clue cards throughout the room, not too well hidden unless you want people snooping. You can even get help when leaving the clues and decorating because of the novelty of this sort of party. You do not have to confine the festivities to one room, and you can, if you're feeling truly adventurous, have a different case going on in different rooms. Just have the guests draw numbers for teams and then race to solve the crime first. This is a fairly huge undertaking, but it will make the party remembered for years. You might also want to set up a lab complete with a microscope and tables dedicated to sorting out the evidence and making notes for the shocking conclusion of the crimes in question. Of course, you'll want to make the crime simple and solvable by leaving clues that guests will have no trouble finding or deciphering without making it too easy. Use your favorite episode for guidance if you must, and throw in a red herring or two to keep things fun. There are reruns that you should have no problem finding a show that will give you some great ideas. For food, you can have an actual NCIS cake or go with cookies that are shaped like footprints or thumbprint cookies for an excellent play on words. Sloppy Joes, pizza, finger foods, chips and dips, and cookies and cake will have an excellent food addition to the party without needing to fit into any one theme. Be sure to have plenty of soda and bottled water on hand. Here's a picture of an NCIS cake, and then I put a link. This is so pure and so good, and the first time that somebody's ever asked anything on Yahoo Answers where a good, helpful, kind Christian person swoops in with a fucking manual on how to perfectly do the thing. I wanted to include this because hope's not all lost. Most things are bad. 90% of the things are bad, but then there's Yahoo Answers user Lady Di who swoops in here is like, you know what's good at parties? Sloppy Joes sometimes. How about a fingerprint cookie?
I like the inclusion of the line, make sure to have soda and water available. That's not NCIS specific. It's just a good
Party,
overall.
good party thing. I've never seen NCIS, a single frame of it. But this, what I love about this, and the reason I was troubled doing it, is I was worried that Lady Di had confused NCIS with CSI.
No, I
Because
think they
this-
also do plenty of CSIing.
Okay, because this would also... This is not a qualm I have with Lady Di. This is a qualm I have with the creators of NCIS. You made your letters sound like a pre-existing thing, CSI.
You used 3 of the same. You just added an N in there and then kind of flipped them all around.
Right, which also could be New Orleans CSI, I think is in there, or is it NCIS New Orleans? Who even fucking knows anymore?
I mean, I know because NCIS New Orleans has my boy, Scott Bakula.
I'm just talking about the title, Griffin.
Okay. I just wanted
I'm
to talk
just
about
saying-
Scott Bakula.
If you're going to use 3 of the same letters in your thing, maybe don't have so much like microscopes and fingerprints and stuff.
This is GSI. Grime scene investigation. We investigate
So dirty here.
the grimiest scenes.
Do we want to move on to the money zone, or
I want to
what's
move on to
up?
the money zone so that we can get to our guest segment even faster.
So let's do it.
I want to tell everybody about Wink. That's WINC. Wink. Well, Wink's wine experts select wines matched to your taste, personalized for you, and then they ship them right to your door, just starting at $13 a bottle. How it works is you go to Wink's website, which is trywink, TRYWINC.com, and you fill out their palate profile quiz, and you answer simple questions like, how do you take your coffee, and how do you feel about blueberries? Yes to both.
I'm afraid of them.
How do I take my coffee? Yes. How do you feel about blueberries? Very scared. There are no membership fees. You can skip any month and you can cancel at any time. And it makes a good holiday gift. You can send a personalized gift card and let your recipient choose their wine from Wink's great selection. You can discover great wine today if you go to trywink.com. Again, trywinc.com/mybrother, and you'll get $20 off your first shipment. One more time, that is trywink.com, trywinc.com/mybrother for $20 off.
I want to tell you about Stitch Fix, and I'm really excited because I just got my first Stitch Fix
Me
box
too.
like 3 days ago. Right? It was amazing.
Yeah, it's very good.
I've been on it for like 6 months. I'm doing it even when they're not giving it to me for free. I adore it.
Oh, I've continued now. Like I actually just made my next box come even faster because I couldn't wait to get more of it. But I got a flannel shirt in this box that was like an instant favorite. Like I pulled it out and was like, yes, I wore it that day. It was so amazing. So basically, here's how it works. It's a new way to shop for clothes that does all the work for you. Sweater weather's here, folks. And if you're like me,
It got really serious there.
Well,
Hi, I'm Travis McElroy. I'd like to talk to you about sweater weather.
I forgot to buy any sweaters. I moved back from Los Angeles. I didn't leave my house at all last year when I lived in Cincinnati because I had a baby and I was scared of the outside world. And I forgot to buy any sweaters. So that's where I turned to Stitch Fix. You go online, answer some questions about your sizes, favorite styles, and budget. And I love that, by the way. You can put not just like your budget for spending, but your budget for individual items. So you can say like,
how much are you willing to spend on a sweater?
right. Or like a t-shirt or socks or whatever. And you can say like, I don't want to spend more than blank on t-shirts. And your personal stylist will pick 5 pieces based on your preference and send them to your door. And then you try them on at home. And if you don't like something, you don't pay for it. You just send it back. You only pay for what you keep. And there's no subscription. And it's no club to join. You just order stuff. You say you need stuff when you need it. So get started now at stitchfix.com/mybrother, and you'll get 25% off when you keep all 5 items. So that's stitchfix.com/mybrother, stitchfix.com/mybrother.
Yeah, and the cool thing is it evolves. So like you give them feedback when you get a box, and then they'll take that feedback into consideration the next time they send you something.
It's really
it only
slick.
gets better.
Yeah.
And also, I was really impressed by this. Along with the items they send you suggestions of other things you could wear with those items.
Love that. Need that.
Yeah.
Need that.
Juice, you want to read this next message?
Yeah, have you noticed how the world is filled with problems and that the leaders supposed to solve them are all a bunch of sad squares in sad square boxes who could really chill the heck out? Ryan and John sure did. They noticed so hard that they bought a microphone and set up shop solving the world's toughest problems with the help of the stickiest of green herbs.
Excellent.
Oh, I
I was
get it.
wondering. I was waiting
Twist.
for the twist.
Twist, they're high. Join them every few weeks. That's a very chill release schedule, huh? I don't know. Sometimes, join them sometimes on the Hypocrisy podcast as they get creative, fix the world, and fend off rabid dogs and smoke a lot of weed.
And that's Hypocrisy, HIGHPOCRACY. You can go to hypocrisy.zone or find it's so good, or find them wherever you get your podcasts.
Got another message for Mackenzie, and it's from Caitlin. It says, happy birthday to my favorite sister-in-law. I can't wait to see you, Robert, and Peps, so I can show her all the best food in Austin and solidify my position as her favorite aunt. Love you lots, Caitlin. And that's next available, is what that says. So, like, they're just really taking a shot in the dark there.
This is them.
I hope
This is
it
them
timed out.
guilting them for an Austin trip. Like, no matter what
Right.
time of year this lands, gotta get you down here. Gotta get the barbecue. Gotta have the tacos.
2 more quick plugs before we move on to our amazing, amazing guest segment that I'm so excited. So I'm going to make them really quick. Schmanners is going to be performing at San Francisco Sketchfest this year on the first Sunday. I believe it's the 14th, January 14th. So you can go to bit.ly/SF Schmanners, SFSHMANNERS to go check
Did you
that
just
out.
forget how to spell your own podcast?
Well, there's a lot of S's in there.
Sure.
Yeah. And also, Schmanners is going to be performing on the Choco Cruise, along a lot of other stuff. Dad's going to be there. We're going to be doing a lot of, like, special events and that kind of thing. You can find out about that at jococruise.com, jococruise.com, and that is in February. I believe it starts February 18th. In general, it's an amazing lineup, an amazing cruise. Go check it out.
All right. I can't believe you're about to hear the segment that you're about to hear. We had a very special guest expert on the show, and he's legitimately a hero of mine, and it is bizarre that he agreed to do our program, but he did. So, there. So I guess we should just get into it. Is there any sort of setup we need, I guess?
Well, one thing that's really important to me is that we play a Max Fun promo right now.
Hey Biz, have you seen any good movies lately?
Hey Teresa, does Curious George's Boo Fest count?
It doesn't.
Well, I blame my current life situation that has small children that need things. God, I love them, and I miss knowing about stuff.
Well, after catching up on the current cultural offerings on podcasts that provide such information, join us on One Bad Mother as we help explore the harsh realities of sweeping self-identity changes as we try to find ourselves between our pre- and post-kid selves.
I used to like all the things. Download One Bad Mother on MaximumFun.org or Apple Podcasts. And yes, there will be swears.
All right. Well, you ready to get started? Y'all settled?
I thought we were starting. Let's roll.
This is it. This is the show.
I've had a nap and an espresso. This could go anywhere. Yeah.
My our guest this week, as surreal as it is for me to say, is Mr. Jimmy Buffett. Hello and welcome to the program.
Oh no, I'm not going to do the show.
That was
All right,
Man.
bye, everybody.
I just decided. I didn't tell you all that.
No, you just because he called you Mr. Jimmy Buffett. Was that why you don't want to do the show now?
If you call me Jimmy, I'll continue. But if you call me Mr. Buffett, I'm out of here.
Jimmy.
All right.
Jimmy, it is.
Okay, all right, Jess.
You got a new.
Let's
you got-
take two. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, pretty good.
Oh, doing great, Jimmy.
Great.
You got a new. You got a new album out, Buried Treasure Volume 1.
Yeah, a new album full of a lot of old stuff.
Now, I hate listening to anything I recorded more than 2 weeks ago. So how did you feel digging these up and hearing them for the first time in a long time?
You know what I did is I went into my little studio. I was in New York in the summer, and I went out to the studio, took a bottle of wine and had a few glasses of wine, and went back and I was curious, and I wanted to go listen to them because, you know, the name comes from the kind of the way that it actually happened. They weren't buried in the ground like in the dirt or anything, but they were actually lost tapes in some, you know, closet or storage facility, and when they went to sell the studio, they opened it up and there they were. So be that as it may, it was kind of a time machine, you know. So I was interested in the fact that there were over 120 songs there, and I could not remember writing that many songs. So that's what kind of got me interested. So I wanted to go listen to them all, and so I did, and then I started laughing, and it was kind of fun and amusing because, good God, did I sound like I sounded so much. I know who I was channeling in those days, and it was Gordon Lightfoot. And boy, it was way too close. He should have sued me. So I listened to them all, and then I tried to figure out what to do with them. And the interesting thing was, you know, the first idea was, is this worth anything? But people want to hear it because, you know, once you get to one stage, if you've survived this long in the business, it's not like trying to do something new every year and kind of keep the ball rolling. I just try to make things that if people want to add to their collection based on what they've heard and been such loyal fans about before, then that's what a project is. So I kind of put it up, weighted against those parameters, which were, you know, would this be something fans would be interested in? Something, you know, that was this raw and this far back. And I thought maybe they would, but then the other thing that kind of pushed me to the conclusion of yes, they would, was that the songs themselves, when I heard them, kind of conjured up visions of the people playing them, what was going on in my life at the time, which was actually nothing, because nobody knew who I was except these 5 guys I'd go to the studio with. I also thought it would be unique to capture these guys who were still A, alive, and B, in Mobile, who were the guys that kind of were the only ones that knew me at the time when they were putting bands together and helping try to promote me coming out of the studio. So I thought that was a kind of unique thing to get their perspective. And then my daughter did a video or little documentary on all these guys who were in the studio. So that's how the whole thing kind of, it grew into what it became. And then when it did come out, all of a sudden I looked at it, and the packaging alone was worth doing it, because Kim and her team, the people that did it out of New York, did a great job of putting this whole thing together. Again, I thought at that point we'd done what the objective was to make something that if people liked what we did, they could add this to their collection. And that's kind of the way it happened in a short version.
Well, I was listening to it this morning and enjoying it a lot. So I think it's great that you got it out there. We got a lot of people wanting your sage wisdom here. A lot of our listeners wrote in with questions, and I'm just going to hit you
with
wisdom. Sage
Ooh.
wisdom. I know.
Did you say sage or stage?
All.
I can do both. Which one do you want?
Your stage wisdom.
Stage wisdom. Stage wisdom. Either way.
This is the first one, and you asked for questions about sailing, lionfish, in Puerto Rico. We have all three covered. So you're in good hands.
That covers some things, huh?
I got all the bases. Here we go. Here's our first question. Do you have any recommendations for a city slicker who wants to get into sailing? Are there books to read before taking an actual course? Any places or organizations that would get your seal of approval? That's from The Only Bait in Philadelphia is their name.
Philadelphia. I like
Philadelphia.
That. From a city slicker to go sailing, I would certainly say that reading is the first thing to do, and read books, and then because there's so much great stuff out there. And if I was going to boil it down, of course, Treasure Island was the first one. But if you really want to read some good stuff, it would be the Patrick O'Brien series about Albury and I can't remember the Captain Jack Albury. And I can't remember, and his sidekick, but it's a great series of books about the British Navy and the Napoleonic Wars, and it's because the great thing about it is it gets into the way people actually lived on boats back then. We think of them as you see them in movies, and there's just pirates, or there's people on boats. I mean, when they went, they didn't know when they were coming back. They had live animals, They all played music too, because there was no Wi-Fi back in those days, and so most sailors had an instrument or played an instrument, and it's the way also that a lot of music and different music from around the world found its way to other cultures was on boats. So that all kind of, they're great adventures, but they take the essence of sailing and how people lived and how they entertained themselves, when they weren't fighting or when they weren't off, in raging storms. There was a lot of dull time on boats, and believe me, as one who sailed a lot, you try to find some things to do. So I think reading about it first, and then, go find yourself a little sailing school somewhere. If you live in Philly, you can go to the Jersey Shore, and get in a boat, and if you don't puke, then keep going.
Now, I got to be honest. Of all the sailing advice I expected to get from Jimmy Buffett, make sure you read up on it first. Is not one of the things that I expected to hear. not a lot of that.
What? I was just going to throw them in a boat and point them out there and go try to get back.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Bye.
Yeah, they'll figure it out, right?
No, I'm not a Captain Bligh. You got to read about it first. Yeah.
Jimmy, I got a question for you. I'm about to go on my first cruise, which will be my first time really on a ship of any note other than a ferry.
That's a boat with an engine and...
True. But here's my question.
That's a hotel with an engine. That's a floating hotel we're talking about, right?
Yes, but will there be a point when I'm in the middle of the ocean and I can't see land anywhere and my mind just breaks and I just start screaming? Because that's what I'm worried about.
I think that's called ocean madness.
Yes.
Ocean madness. Well, you know what I would do? I would start drinking seawater.
Okay.
and that will really make you crazy.
Just really.
Just lean into it.
Just kidding. No, so I'm going to tell you what. If to me, being out of sight of land is one of the most pleasant and freeing experiences, and it'll take you. How long's your cruise?
About a week.
Okay, that's good. So, see, 2 days out, it takes a little while to get your sailor's legs about you, even if you're on one of those big boats, because you're moving. And stay away from the buffet. Probably would be a good other thing to do until you get your sea legs. But even when I would go out on my little boats, and once you left and you were on there, you had to kind of readjust your brain readjust, and your sense of balance has to readjust. Whether you're on a big ship or a little ship, it just automatically will do that because you're not on real land. So if you ever notice you get tired out there, that's your inner ear working to keep your balance up. So once you do leave land, you have to reacclimate to being on the water. So that's like 2 days, and then after that, your anxiety should go away, and then you can relax.
Yeah, just try not to think about the fact that the Poseidon Adventure is based on a real story, and it happens to like 1/3 of cruise ships out there on the water.
And then the other thing I wouldn't do is look at those disaster at sea videos on YouTube before you go.
There's a lot of them because it happens so
I
much.
have to go look at
the
those.
ones especially the ones with the cruise ships getting smacked sideways by a 50-foot wave. I wouldn't watch those.
Oh man!
It's just there's so many because it's so common.
Oh no!
Hope that helped.
There's a great question here I want to read. That was the question is: the boom of my sailboat is terrifying to me. I'm always worried that sucker is going to brain me. How do I overcome my fear of the boom? And that's from Deliberate Land Dweller in Durham.
Okay, it's called a boom bang. They make a device that you can put on your boom and attach to your deck, which will allow it not to hit you in your head.
Now
go out and buy a boom bang.
Now let's, Jimmy, just pretend. I mean, obviously, we all know what the boom is, but let's pretend that our listeners don't know what the boom of a sailboat is, and maybe you could explain that first.
Okay, it's very simple. Okay, the sail is triangular, so you have a mast, and you raise the sail, and the sail is attached to the mast, but the sail has to move, so the mast is vertical, and then the boom is the section of the mast that's horizontal that the sail attaches to, so it can swing back and forth because you've got to catch the wind, and the wind is always moving. And the reason it's called a boom is because when it does hit you in the head, it goes boom. So,
I don't know what they called it before that. They call it a perfectly nice steering instrument on a ship.
And a boom bang is just a piece of line that will tie to the boat that will keep it from going boom.
Could you tie pillows to the boom so that if it does boom you, it's at least it cushions the blow?
Of course you could, but I've never seen it.
I feel like you might get some. I feel like you might get hassled by some of the other sailors.
Get soggy, then mildewed, and then seagulls would shit on them and stuff like that. They could get funky in a hurry, so you might not want that pillow as protection.
In my defense, a seagull can shit on any part of a boat, no matter what, pretty much at any time.
That is correct. Yeah.
Here's another question for you, Jimmy. There's been a push to eat lionfish in order to curb their numbers because they're an invasive species. Have you tried it? Would you? And if you have, did it give you poisonous spines? I guess growing out of your body. I don't see why that would happen.
That's from James.
That's from James.
Well, I went to the dermatologist and I got those removed.
Okay, perfect.
No, I don't want to scare anybody because this is kind of a serious subject. They are an invasive species. And the thing of it is, if you're a lover of the islands and water and diving and snorkeling and all that stuff, which if you go on vacation, that's what you want to do. Lionfish are a big problem, and the fact of it is, they don't have any natural predators in the ocean. You can't. Yeah, the thing of it is, they're not. You'll never get you can't equate it with ciguatera, which you can get from like reef fish sometimes. That doesn't happen in the flesh of the lionfish. Yeah, and yes, it's good. We serve it at the restaurant in Margaritaville. We make sushi out of it, and we're trying, to get people interested in making it a commercial product, which makes it something that the price of it would increase, so the more people would go catch them. you know, you can actually kill a fish and save a reef here. You know, that's kind of an oxymoron when you're out there thinking about trying to save the ocean. You're trying to prevent everything from dying, but you can knock off quite a few lionfish, and it's going to help the ocean. So we're kind of involved actively in some ways to promote that, and people are doing it already. They have lionfish rodeos in Florida and all, but nobody had seen them really as a food source until a couple of people started figuring out that they were good. And we shot them about 5 or 6 years ago and just brought them up and cooked them, and they were fine. Cleaning them is a bit of a problem, but then our people down at and our kitchen staff at the hotel in Hollywood have done just that to make it a real an easier way to clean it and not get poked. And so the only danger of that is in cleaning it. It's not going to kill you though, but it does hurt like hell. But anyway, we're looking at better ways that we could clean them more efficiently and make them more of a food commodity, because the fish does taste great, and that's a great way to get the invasive species under control. So we're going to do it. We're doing it at the hotel. We're going to start doing it down at our little restaurant at the cruise ship dock in Belize. If you get, who's going on the cruise? Travis or Griffin or Justin?
Just Travis.
Yeah.
Just Travis. What boat are you going to go to Belize?
No, I don't think so. Not unless things go horribly awry.
Yeah, if he ends up in Belize, something has gone terribly wrong with his
perfect
with his
storm
navigation.
situation.
Well, I was going to say, if you get down there, you could go try some lionfish, you know.
I do
But
really
maybe
want to
you're
eat
on another-
lionfish now.
Yeah, I would
Okay,
like to.
where are you going?
We're going down to Cozumel
All right.
and
You going to Key
Cabo.
Oh, Cozumel and Cabo. Okay.
I tell you,
think so.
Jimmy, if you've never been to Mexico, you should totally check it out.
It's pretty sick, yeah.
I've heard of it. That's right. It's
Good
that
things. You ever thought about doing like an all-you-can-eat lionfish night in Margaritaville?
I've always wanted to be an inspirational environmental hero by eating a lot of fish.
I'm in. What I am going to do is go out, and when I get back from, I got to go up and work on the musical. And when I get done with that, I'm going to go out on the boat, and with Carlo, my head chef down there, who kind of started this thing, I'm going to go out and shoot some lionfish with him, and he's going to teach me how to clean them, and then we're going to cook them right there on the boat, and then make a video.
Please
You've
be
said
careful.
shoot a couple times now, and
Yes.
I'm wondering
Spear
if you
guns.
can. Oh, spear guns. Okay, yes,
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense now.
Not like
No,
shotguns.
I'm not taking an AR-15 underwater. No.
I feel like if we could rebrand the lionfish, because I think that's probably my hang up with it, is that it sounds dangerous. But like the name tuna, like, and the reason there's only like 4 tuna left is the name tuna. Just that name sounds so good. Like, it sounds really tasty and safe and huge and awesome.
What about
So we need-
tasty fish?
Tasty. We call the lionfish
There
tasty
you go.
fish.
Just call it tasty fish.
Tasty fish.
And we changed tuna to big poison monster.
Well, I don't think we need to drag tuna through the mud.
No, come on. Come on. Tuna, yeah, tuna's got enough problems here. We got to get, But tasty fish. Well, you know, when you go into any restaurant now, they're serving you like sea bass. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a complete that's fake fish.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
hamburger. Or,
It says
Yeah, I
chicken
think they
that
serve a lot of it at the White House. Fake fish these days. But no, it's called the. Let's see, it's the toothfish, but it's like the Argentine, the South Atlantic toothfish, and that's what they are. They call it. And to your point, nobody's going to eat a toothfish. With that name, so they just basically renamed them sea bass.
See, let's do that for
Chilean
lionfish.
sea bass. You know, there are not any bass out there at all. They're toothfish. So the lionfish becomes the temptingly tasty fish.
yeah, go for it.
Totally eat that.
I have a practical question that wasn't sent in by the audience, but it's something that I struggle with
Yes.
every time I go to the beach. I always
Yes.
feel, and I enjoy going to the beach. I always feel like I forgot something. Like I could have brought something to help me feel more comfortable at the beach, like maybe a better chair so that I'm not getting all sandy, or it's like a sunshade to
You notice that the beach has sand on it, correct? Okay,
the beach has sand on it, and it gets all over. I'm curious, when you go to the beach, which I imagine you do sometimes, what do you take with, like, what do you bring with you? What are like your beach like survival tools?
My beach survival tool.
Yeah, like a drink or an umbrella.
Because I feel like if I saw Jimmy Buffett at the beach, I would start to get real paranoid to make sure I'm doing everything right, and just sort of try to do.
What I would bring to the beach is my van that has everything in it.
There we go. That's so good.
Just drive it right onto the beach.
Drive it. It's 4-wheel drive. You drive onto the beach and get a van. That's the first thing I do, and put all your stuff in it. And they make little vans and big vans. You know, you can get a little Volkswagen van. 4-wheel drive, let a little air out of the tires, put it out on the beach, and there you go. And you can take everything you want.
That's a good solution.
Such a good solution.
That's really good. I'm going to read another audience question.
Okay.
Several years ago, my sister went to Puerto Rico and brought home massive avocados. They were the best avocados I have ever had, and the guacamole we made from them has made all the guacamole since seem like trash. How do I deal with my unreasonably high standards? And that's from Avocado Don't Know How to Quit You.
Avocado don't. Well, I think the thing of it is I would kind of research the fact of what's going on in Puerto Rico in terms of agriculture, and if your avocado groves are still there, and if they're not, then I'm sure that there's some people. There's a lot of people doing great things in Puerto Rico right now. I don't know if you ever did. You see Jose Reyes' piece on 60 Minutes the other day about cooking down there? If not, you should check it out. I mean, he literally took the terrible situation and as he said, there was food there, but people, that were in charge didn't know how to do it. He went down and in a matter of 2 weeks was cooking for 100,000 people a day. It's a pretty amazing story. So there's that kind of care and that kind of wanting to help on the ground in Puerto Rico. And I bet you that somebody is reforesting at this moment, or else evaluating where those giant, beautiful avocados are. So maybe you want to get involved because the thing about it is, as disastrous as hurricanes are, having grown up in Hurricane Alley on the Gulf Coast and lived amongst hurricanes, the nature comes back pretty quick in the tropics, and it's amazing how fast things grow again. So I think your avocados will be back, and maybe you could help them get back.
And help, Puerto Rico recover and provide any kind of relief that you possibly. It's been it's been like a couple of months, but obviously they still need help. So this is probably a good time to mention, like, anything you can give to any organization that sort of you think can help, like UNICEF or. And I think
the Hispanic Federation is doing a ton of good stuff.
Yeah,
and they're doing stuff down there. And if you can get direct to people that are, like we had, our hotel got severely damaged there, so we're basically getting all of our employees back to work, cleaning up and getting the hotel back into shape. So and trying to just at that level make sure everybody has something to do as in the process of recovery is going along.
Jimmy, we got a lot of different versions of this question, but this one kind of sums it up. I work a fairly standard dead-end office job. As you can imagine, life within a cubicle can be unglamorous and sometimes stressful. I don't have the time to get away from it all often. Any tips for relaxing and finding my own cheeseburger in paradise in everyday life? And that's from Big Boy Job in Baltimore.
Big Boy Job in Baltimore. I would... I'd go find myself a local bar. That's what I would do first, and that probably had good crab cakes in it. And I know some of those exist in Baltimore, and just the other thing to do, is to get outside a little more, even if it's cold or even if it's not pouring down rain, just to get out and walk around without sunglasses or any glasses on. About 45 minutes a day. It kind of recharges your batteries.
What about corrective glasses, like for bad vision?
Just take them off and try not to walk in traffic while you're using your phone.
Okay.
Do you feel a lot of pressure to always be the calmest person in the room in your day-to-day life? I feel like if I was doing something and I saw Jimmy Buffett stressed out, I'd probably flip my shit, honestly.
Is Jimmy Buffett mad?
Okay,
Oh, God.
Jimmy
Get
Buffett,
out of here.
Jimmy Buffett's not calm. None of us can be calm right now. We all have to freak out.
There are days, let's say, that I get attentive. Okay, I don't know if I will.
That's the top of the scale.
Yeah, being rather attentive to a situation might get at the top of the scale there, you know. But I've had a few close calls, and it's either I'm still supposed to be here, or I'm making up for lost time because I should not be here, or I'm supposed to be here. So either way, I'm still glad I am here. And I'm not on the front nine anymore. So I think the older you get, all the stresses of life seem to go away because you don't have a lot of time to deal with that shit, you know? So why not go out and try to enjoy every day you got and not let everything get you down?
Jimmy, the last time you went to the doctor, was your blood pressure 4?
No, I got my Apple Watch on. I can tell you what it is right now, okay? You want to know?
I actually am really curious.
I'm super curious what your blood pressure
Get a
is.
blood pressure check. Get a
Okay,
pulse
here,
rate
it's
check.
measuring now. This is my, okay. Let's see here. It's 54 beats a minute.
Wow, really?
That's a beat.
Amazing.
Your resting
Mine
heart rate
is
is
like
54.
88 on a
That's
good day.
insane.
What's yours now?
I'm at 99. That's rough.
I'm at
99.
I'm at
I almost,
87.
I almost have two Jimmy Buffett hearts inside of me.
I'm at 86, but I'm also recording a podcast with Jimmy Buffett, so I feel like I'm allowed to kind of do whatever my heart's
have a
going to do.
heightened state.
Okay, so you wait. This podcast is making your blood pressure rise. That's cool.
It's about the most stressful thing that I do, believe it or not.
It's really
as
cool. And
shameful as that is.
it's really
I
cool
think you're
and killing
holding
all
it
three of
together
us.
pretty well. I do.
Thanks.
Well, this is the closest we get to physical labor.
Yeah,
so.
this is the hardest. Yeah. Where would you rate on a scale of very chill to attentive, creating a musical based on your music, Escape to Margaritaville, which just finished? It's about to wrap up. I guess.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it's running in Chicago, and then it's moving to Broadway middle of February. How sort of stressful was that, or was that more of a joyful thing, or how was that for you?
It's it's a bit of yin and yang there because of course it's a dream come true, and I've always loved musical theater, and the actual fact that it's happening. I mean, as I've been to shows, we've been in La Jolla, New Orleans, Houston, now in Chicago. I sit out there in the audience. I love watching the audience because I don't get out there that much, and I love that this show really entertains them, and I get a big kick out of watching people enjoy the show. And I have to pinch myself to believe that this is actually happening. We're going to Broadway. And then, and Justin, you were there when your good friend Lin-Manuel Miranda brought you to the show, and then we get up. How do you think I felt when he came out and we did Margaritaville? I go, God, this is cool. But I got a little over than attentive. I got excited when Lin-Manuel came on the stage. Yes, I did.
Which show do you think is better, Escape to Margaritaville or Hamilton?
And this is the question that is on everyone's lips.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, let's just say this. I like them both, but nobody gets killed in Margaritaville.
And they don't drop any beach balls on you in Hamilton. So you don't. I don't know. It's different.
Hey,
very different
it
scales.
works. No, but when we did it that day, Justin, I thought it was pretty cool to go get a history lesson and get them. Hell, I was crying at the end of Hamilton, and that's about the 8th or 9th time I've seen it. When Who Tells Your Story comes on, they got me again. I mean, that's what's great about it. But, get a history lesson in the afternoon and feel like you've gone to group therapy, and then go get a drink, go to Margaritaville.
It was perfect.
It's a great day in Chicago, I think.
If I could live that day every
There's
day.
only 2 more of them. But you'll be able to do it in New York because we're right down the street from them in New York, too.
Perfect. All right. Well, Buried Treasure Volume 1 is in stores now. Escape to Margaritaville moving to Broadway mid-February. You can go get tickets. EscapeToMargaritaville.com, I believe, is the EscapeToMargaritavillemusical.com.
Yeah.
Interest to get those.
And you know what else is coming up too? That's going to be kind of fun. The
New Avengers
working
movie.
with the Eagles next summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those tickets are out on sale now. I've known about it for a while. It doesn't come as a surprise for me because I've known about it. But it's going to be cool because, I kind of got my big break opening for the Eagles way back when for the Hotel California tour. And we became great friends, and they were very instrumental in me making a big leap. And so it's going to be, we haven't played together since then, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Excellent.
And I think we're doing with them, we're doing Miami, Orlando, Minneapolis, going to Minneapolis, Denver.
Love Minneapolis.
And I think San Francisco. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, next time you make it out to Cincinnati, I know I will. I'll be there. If you want to pick me out of the crowd, I'll be the middle-aged guy in a Hawaiian shirt. So if you see that, that's me in the crowd out there.
I've seen like 3 people in Cincinnati dressed like that. So can you tell me what color your shirt is? Because there'll probably be 2 other people.
I'm the one with the huge muscles.
Huge muscles.
Huge muscles. Glistening muscles glistening in the sun.
Huge glistening muscles. Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
got
me.
it. I'm going to be looking for you. I'm going to try to throw a pick in your direction.
You're gonna have to really chuck it because I usually end up towards the back, but I'll try to push
you going to be on the lawn or you're going to be up front?
On the lawn. The
come
party's on the lawn.
on.
Come on.
I know that. Yeah. I've been out there.
Jimmy, before we let you go, I just wanted to thank you for the most chill my brother and me segment in the history of our podcast. I feel like the most relaxing segment we've ever had on the show.
Well, man, you're saying I made podcast history today?
There it is.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you, because I know a lot of people listen. So, I know there's a reason to listen because you guys are good. All right,
Well, I'm
take
glad
it
we
easy.
can finally give you your big break, Jimmy, and really get your name out
I've been
there.
looking for that thing. Yeah. So thanks for allowing me to have my big break.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Okay, guys, have a great holiday. Come
too.
see us. Okay, fins up. Bye-bye.
Thank you to everybody thank you to Jimmy Buffett, I guess, especially for coming on and doing our show. One other quick thing I wanted to mention. I have one other small thing. Candle Night's show went on sale, sold out. Thank you so much to everybody who got tickets. Can't wait to see you. If you didn't get tickets, or even if you did, and you want to do something else this Candle Night's season, Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Central West Virginia works with a lot of LGBTQ youth in our area, and because of that work, they lost $80,000 in donations because
People are assholes.
because people are assholes. But we're not, and more importantly, you're not. So we're trying to make up the gap. All the money from the show is being donated to them. But my sister-in-law Riley is also organizing a fundraiser with us that is be a Candle Night star. So basically, for $5 or more, if you can afford it, that would be great. You can get a star on the Candle Nights tree, and that'll be up at our show this December. And all the profits for that, you can personalize your own star, and all the profits for that are going to go to the Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Central West Virginia. So if you could do that, it's bit.ly/MBMBaM stars, and we really appreciate that.
And 2 more quick things. PodCon is this weekend. Hopefully you've heard about it before now, but if you haven't, in Seattle, December 9th and 10th, there's a podcast convention with my brother and me, 99% Invisible, Welcome to Night Vale, Last Name Basis, and also some great guests are going to be there. Aparna and Charla's going to be there. Gabby Dunn's going to be there. I think Hal Lublin's going to be there. And
They got Hal?
You got Hal. And you can attend. You can come for just $100. And even if you're not in the area, there is a $30 remote attendance option. That's like being there, but you don't have to travel for it for just $30.
What a miracle.
I know. And not only were we doing a My Brother and Me there, there's going to be a bunch of other events that we pop our heads into and do. So.
I'm moderating a panel about collaborative storytelling with some folks from Night Vale and Black Tapes and a couple other shows that I'm pretty excited about. So that'll be something. I've never moderated before.
It's going to be great. So you can check that out at podcon.com, PODCON.com. That's this weekend. So don't wait on that. And get your questions in if you're going to be there for the My Brother and Me show.
Please, we need those.
And one more quick plug. I was on Hello from the Magic Tavern this week, which was an absolute dream of mine. It's one of my favorite podcasts. If you haven't checked it out, it's one of, I think, the funniest, most inventive podcasts on like in existence right now. And I got to be on it, and I played a character named Chest Trunkborn. And you boys would be proud of me. I did my character voice through the whole episode.
Good boy.
So good.
And like I said, that's Hello from the Magic Tavern. And I was on it this week, and it was super fun. It was a great time. And Paul Sabourin makes a couple cameos in there too. So go check it out.
I want to say I'm sorry about all the plugs, but this time, and I know that's annoying. So thank you for hanging in there with us. A lot of it is charity, and I'm not going to apologize for that. You're all good people, and I know everybody is looking for opportunities to make the world slightly better. So apologies about that. Just kind of confluence of everything happening all at once. You know, end of the year.
A lot of plates spinning.
A lot of plates spinning. It'll be so. Thank you for indulging us. We really appreciate
and it's not fucking over yet, because I want to thank John Roderick and the Long Winters for the use of our theme song. It's a departure off the album Putting the Days to Bed. Very good album, very wintry. Don't sleep on One Christmas at a Time, the John Roderick, Jonathan Colton Christmas album. That's also very good.
Would you like me to sing the title track?
Yes, right now.
One Christmas at a time.
That's it. And thank you to MaximumFun.org for having us. You can go to MaximumFun.org, check out a bunch of great podcasts there. Or if you want to hear other stuff we do, you can go to McElroyShows.com. Let's end the program.
Hell yeah. Thanks to James Buffett. Go see Escape to Margaritaville.
Thank you, James.
And buy Buried Treasure Volume 1.
Got to. This one was also sent in by Seth Carlson, the delivery man with the hat trick. Thank you, Seth. It's Yahoo Answers user. Daughter Eponymous asks, I'll try to stress the all caps words in here. Why is our government and others hiding the truth about giants?
My name is Justin McElroy.
I'm Travis McElroy. I'm Griffin McElroy.
And this has been my brother, and me. Kiss your dad. Square on the lips.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture. Artist owned.
Listener supported.
Max FunCon tickets are on sale now at maxfuncon.com. Watch stand-up comedy on a mountain. Roll out of bed after a dance party to see a live podcast taping. Take classes from amazing teachers with the most supportive group of people you'll ever meet. Make a bunch of friends and eat a ton of s'mores. Come to Max FunCon at Lake Arrowhead, California, the second weekend of June for friendship, comedy, and creativity. Get your ticket now at maxfuncon.com.
Or just, what do you do? Strong. I do strongness.
Now, Trav, tell me about the scene. I heard there's a scene where Thor says, you may be strong, Hulk, Bruce, but I have this hammer. And then Hulk takes the hammer, and Thor says, I'm no longer needed, and I will step away.
Yes.
And then he retires.
Yeah, and that comes 5 minutes into the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the rest of the movie is Hulk as Thor. And they keep calling him Thulk, which is cute. I like that. And it keeps cutting back to Thor, like, at the supermarket, or like he gets married, has a kid, serves on the PTA.
That's nice.
Is the sun big and green?
No, the son is actually kind of a nerdy, puny guy, so like Thor has to deal with that.
Now, I heard another scene that I saw. Now, this was on a Fandango bonus clip.
Yeah.
I got for pre-ordering tickets for this movie that opened a month ago. And in this bonus clip, after Thor raises a family, Hulk comes to his house and says, I am stronger than you. I will teach the children to be strong. I'm the father now.
And
Thor says, you're right.
Yeah.
And Hulk becomes Thor's kids' dads. Is that in the final?
Did that one Ragnarok
absolutely.
cut?
That's actually, Justin, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's actually a post-credit scene that dovetails with Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, good. I was hoping we could talk about that picture.
Yeah,
in
so
the
then
podcast.
It's all in the Daddy's Home multiverse. And that's when Samuel L. Jackson shows up and says, I'm putting together a team of stepdads.
Yeah, I like the scene in Daddy's Home 2 where the Hulk comes and crushes, then eats just all the men in that picture, and then they're gone in real life. which is really cool and fun and great.
Now this
The McElroy brothers are not experts, and their advice should never be followed. Travis insists he's a sexpert, but if there's a degree on his wall, I haven't seen it. Also, this show isn't for kids, which I mention only so the babies out there will know how cool they are for listening. What's up, you cool baby?
It's familiar, but not too familiar, but not too not familiar. It's a new craze. Hey, good girls, do you wanna just say, hey, I wanna? Just say, hey, I wanna.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to My Brother, Me, an advice show for the modern era. I'm your oldest brother, Justin McElroy.
I'm your middlest brother, Travis McElroy.
I'm your sweet baby brother, 30 under 30, Griffin McElroy.
It's coming in hot, folks. I'm sure you've seen it blowing up the TVs and your mobile devices. It's finally almost here. So close now. Thor Ragnarok. This is a Thor Ragnarok watch. Just checking the buzz. Checking out all the buzz around Thor Ragnarok.
Finger on the pulse of this hot body of
Now,
Thor.
boys, I'm so excited to talk about this because I got to see a special preview screener 2 days ago.
Oh, great. How's my huge friend doing, Thor?
Well, he's doing good, and let me tell you, I can give... Okay, lean in close. Here's some special insights I can give you. 1, he's dreamy.
Yes.
2,
He's creamy.
he's creamy. They have really leaned into Thor, the broiest Avenger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In a good way. In a good way.
Okay.
I will also say that as I watched the movie, the preview screener, I mean, I liked to imagine that there would be someone who would go to see this movie who knew nothing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and had never read a comic book before in their life and maybe didn't even know anything about Norse mythology, trying to make either heads or tails of this movie. And it made me very happy because of how often the sentence, "Now who's this beefy fellow?" would pop up in their heads.
Now,
Just a lot of beefy boys.
how many
A lot of beefy
friends,
boys.
How many beefy friends? Give me an exact number.
I would say, Griffin, all the hamburger buns are empty because all the beef is in this movie.
Well,
Now, I
That's not a number. 12? Maybe?
okay.
Now we're just a few days. This came out on November 3rd, so we're getting close to release here on December 4th.
American release. It came out in, I believe, Japan, November 3rd.
Yes,
Okay.
they love the huge man Thor and all of his much smaller friends, except for the green one, who can
Green
sometimes get
Buddy.
bigger.
It's Large Man Thor and Green Buddy.
And my green
now-
friend, the Hulk, or Bruce.
I saw that Bruce is in the film, and I heard that there's a scene where he says, Thor says, "Why do we need the strong man here? I am strong.
Yeah.
We do not need two of the strong men. Bring me someone who can fly, or perhaps a laser boy." And Thor doesn't understand why there
Needs to be
another
two
strong
very
man.
and let's talk about Avengers composition. Let's talk about it team comp in terms of tank, DPS, healer, right? There's Vision, right? He can go through walls. That's fun. Hawkeye shoots a bow and arrow and sometimes says really sexist stuff. And then there's Black Widow, who does all kinds of flips and spins.
Rogue.
And then we have and Iron Man's got beams. And then there's 4 strong men. It's do we need 4?
Does jump into the Orient Express and says, "I have the final solution. The butler conducted the crime." And Poirot's like, "There's no butler," and Hulk's like, I said the butler committed the crime. You may put your train back into the station. Your film is no longer
And then
needed.
he eats the whole train. He does eat the whole train.
Which
Which is also how Snowpiercer ended, with just the train starts up again, and then it goes right into Hulk's big mouth and open belly.
Yep. That's all accurate. That all happens.
The
And
scene
what's
in the
weird...
movie where Hulk finally gets his reward of getting a Coca-Cola, and then the Ant-Man shows up and steals his fucking Coca-Cola, that piece of shit Ant-Man.
There's also a prolonged scene in which Hulk walks around naked, and I wish this was a joke, and it makes me, for the first time, have to
erect.
erect. It forces me to think about Hulk's genitalia in a way that I
the
have.
first time, bud. The first time, bud. As if the first time fucking Stanley was like, eureka, my catchphrase, I've got it. The man turns big and green. And instantly we heard that conceit and we're like, dick too, though, right? Stanley?
No, actually,
What'd that
I
dick
have
do?
concrete proof. So, okay, the Hulk, Bruce Banner transforms into the Hulk. Imagine the classic image. What you see is pants that have been torn, usually from the mid-thigh to knee down, right? But after the transformation into Hulk and back into Bruce Banner, those pants have been torn. The crotch of the pants is never destroyed. So we have to assume that Hulk gets huge muscles, but just a regular human penis.
But Bruce's penis is probably pretty
Bruce's
good.
He's already had pants sized to his penis that the Hulk does not destroy.
Actually, when he's Bruce, he has the Hulk's penis. And when he's the Hulk, he has Bruce's penis. It's a weird...
Thor Ragnarok include the scene where John Lithgow shows up on the first day of Daddy's Home 2 filming and sees that the other new daddy is Mel Gibson. And there's 15 minutes of him just like, Are we sure?
Are you sure about
Well,
that? You sure
this is
him?
actually
This
interesting.
one.
I actually also got a preview screener of Daddy's Home 2 and without the CGI, and what they haven't released yet, maybe this is like a special bonus thing, but John Lithgow is not in the movie. It's all Andy Serkis motion capture.
Yeah,
And
because
then
John Lithgow walked
CGI
over
him in.
and saw the comedy duo, the hysterical duo of Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson they put together, and he pulled out his grappling hook and ziplined away. But Andy Serkis stepped in. He was like, I have no problem with these two.
So Andy Serkis is John Lithgow.
Loves Mel Gibson. Big.
They've already
Gibson
paid
fan.
it. Yeah.
Now, I heard there's a scene in 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, where the Hulk comes and takes the 3 billboards and says, now there's no more need for your movie.
Yeah.
I will take these to mine.
Keeps doing
and
it.
so France McDormand's like, well, I retire.
Well, actually, what happens, Justin?
The billboards are gone in
That
her
was,
movie, so
you must
she
have seen
closes her movie, and Hulk puts the 3 billboards into Hulk Ragnarok, a Thor picture.
You must have seen a previous version. Maybe that was like 1.0, because in the version I saw, Thor goes to grab the billboards and Frances McDormand says, no. And Hulk goes, well, I bow to your wisdom. Thank you so much for everything you've done. You're amazing. And then she kills and eats Hulk and becomes Hulk.
Yes.
Now, I heard there's...
Justin
there's a
heard about it.
bonus
Justin's
YouTube-
just seen all the scenes, and so let's just sit back and watch him do his thing.
It's almost a spoiler. At this, I feel like so much of it has been spoiled. But I heard that Hulk